Hello everyone, welcome to the WWE WrestleMania 41 Night 1 and Night 2 review. This is Shoots and Swerves with your boys, Jonathan at Bad Guy Wrestling, Chris Cortez at Channel Cortez 33. And without further ado, let's knock this out the park. Jonathan, how you doing tonight?
What up? I'm doing pretty good. We got the time difference, but I'm just got off of work a little while ago. It's not the middle of the night like you.
Pretty much, yeah. But it will be night by the time we post this bad boy. By the time we chop and screw this thing, it'll be evening for you, and you'll be just about ready to watch Monday Night Raw the night after WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
I'm sure will be entertaining, to say the least.
Oh yeah, I think Cena said something like check out Raw on Monday night or something.
Yeah, he did. He said a little post-show scrum, basically just gaslit everybody, let everybody know that their questions were. What was he saying? They were clickbait. Yes,
I watched that live last night.
I watched it not long ago, earlier tonight. He's basically calling them clickbaiters, and that they should have more credibility and be a little more
professional integrity. The funniest part was even the last one, which was a legitimate question. The news reporter was like, what does it mean to break the 17th, the Ric Flair 16 titles with the 17th title, and what emotion are you feeling? And he was just like, he made it seem like he was going to answer, and then he's like, that really seems like a clickbait kind of headline.
Yeah, I'm going to go with clickbait on that one too.
Dude, even later on, I don't know why, I was just I think I was just zoned out, and even Triple H made the joke later on when he was on. I think he was one of the last people to get interviewed, and he said that seemed like a clickbait headline.
So apparently they're all a bunch of clickbait having journalists. And the big headline, obviously, tonight, of nights 1 and nights 2, ultimately a couple things. One, John Cena is now 17-time world champion, WWE undisputed champion now. Pretty much the man. Seth Rollins aligned with Paul Heyman. And that's a big one.
That's the bigger shock for me.
One thing I learned about this, which I will never do again, is it's not so much that I miss as much as I really had to do a predictions video prior to WrestleMania, and I would eventually watch some SmackDown because it would be too late for me to watch SmackDown. With these time differences being in Europe, I'll never miss SmackDown the night before WrestleMania because they gave away so many hints, and I watched it prior to night 1 after the predictions were in. I was like, holy shit, Seth Rollins is going to win this thing. I've been kind of not keeping my eye out close enough on him. I thought he was kind of the wild card, kind of comedic. I don't know how else to put it, but essentially I always felt like this was more bigger between Roman Reigns and CM Punk. And they pushed that story. The story was excellently told, and I felt like as a result, obviously it's the best match of the entire weekend. I think most people will agree that match had it all and a great ending. And everything just kind of felt real fluid. Really wish that I could say the same about the John Cena Cody Rhodes match, which we will get into. But I definitely feel like there were some things that could have been done right, a little bit differently. Not to say that John Cena shouldn't have won that match, or again, looking at especially their last interview, you could tell the Las Vegas audience was real gunning for John Cena to win this one, number one. They seemed like some serious, heel fans. Everything, I swear, throughout the weekend, if it was, whether it was John Cena, Cody Rhodes, or Naomi and Jade Cargill, if the match was presented as Cargill's the face and Naomi's the heel, well, we're going to vote for Naomi. We're going to root for Naomi. Y'all are some miserable bastards in Las Vegas. I'm just going to say it.
People.
Just because your Raiders suck does not mean you have to shit all over our heroes. Okay,
that's my bad guy wrestling family right there.
There's some serious bad guy wrestling fandom in Las Vegas. Let me tell you, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they were charged. I feel like the end. It's interesting because John Cena winning, having that moment, winning and being like raising his hand with the belt was a great shot. It was a great moment. I will say this: of all the people to show and essentially interfere in the match, Travis Scott has to be the most ridiculous, funny, but also very underwhelming figure in the entire thing. Could have gone so many different ways. Probably should have received a Rock appearance. I had an idea. We'll talk about it when we get a little, into the nitty gritty. What about your thoughts, Jonathan?
Uh, I I enjoyed it pretty positively. Yeah, I mean, I would have to say overall the highlight I don't even want to call it a heel turn. I'll just say the betrayal of Paul Heyman and Seth
Mm-hmm.
Rollins teaming up. I mean, like you said, it was obvious, but I was not seeing it, and so to me, that shocker was still what I think about. Uh,
Yeah.
it's just I'm still thinking about some of the other things like Travis Scott. I don't even know. He's like, did he actually interfere in the match? I'm not even sure
I
at
mean, he
this
basically,
point.
kind of,
No, I just meant
it's like an
it was so
aggravated,
lame. It
attack.
was
Got Cody Rhodes distracted, messed
Mhm.
with him a little bit at some point. I mean, it's ridiculous.
But it took him like an hour to get down the ramp.
Yeah.
The whole time I was like, he's recovered. What is
I swear, how many
it?
times I had to hear that Fiend song throughout
Yeah,
the entire weekend and throughout the entire last couple months,
yeah, essentially.
ever since Raw came on Netflix, they've been playing that song as like the theme leading up to WrestleMania.
Yeah,
And sure enough, he comes out to it, and it's like he comes off as the biggest mark I've ever seen with that belt.
oh,
It's
I
like
love that
just
he had the hardcore belt too.
stroking this hardcore
Hmm.
belt, this hardcore version of the current belt,
I mean,
weighing about a
he must
buck
like
twenty
wrestling, right?
five. I'm sorry.
He must love. He likes. Does he like wrestling
Oh,
in
he
his real
has to.
life?
You can see it in his eyes. You can
He's
see
just happened to
eating.
become famous, and now he gets to
Yeah,
be the ultimate mark, which
yeah,
I would
yeah.
love to do myself. But
That's exactly
yeah,
what he was doing. Okay, he's the ultimate mark, just soaking it in and basically being in full character, um, which I can appreciate.
yeah,
However, guy weighing in at a buck 30, buck 25, soaking wet, coming
yeah,
up to a heavyweight champion, the WWE Undisputed Champion, just doesn't come off as a real viable threat.
yeah,
Distraction, even as a distraction, it just kind of turned into the ultimate you know textbook. I'm a stupid baby face getting fooled by the heel in a way that just didn't
yeah,
really compute with what's been going on over the last couple years with especially regarding Cody Rhodes. The match was, I mean, just the lack of move sets among these two. It wasn't exactly a barn burner. It wasn't exactly what that. I mean, it's almost as if it, in my view at the time, met expectation. However, that is not a good thing. It did everything that we kind of thought it might do, but it could have been so much better in that there could have been some blood. There
mm,
could have been some hanging through the rope. Maybe I mean it's the last match of the night. You might as well unbuckle one of the ropes in the ring and turn it into a noose. You know what I mean? And hang the dude. You know what I'm saying? Get vicious with
oh,
this.
jeez. Okay, not just the exposed turnbuckle, but hang him in the ring.
Hang him in the ring.
Kill him in the ring,
Hang him in,
old
kill him in the
school,
ring. Hang
Undertaker
him.
sacrificing Stone Cold, and
Strangle him,
I
and
think
and
you're
and
right.
like
Yeah,
do something because I mean that's the last match. You don't have to worry about it. You know.
yeah, tearing
Um,
down after that.
I mean, again, I was not expecting this pay per view this weekend to be nearly, not even close to as good as 40. And I've said it time and time again that every decade, you really can't top a WrestleMania, milestone, whether it's 30, WrestleMania 20, WrestleMania 10. I will say WrestleMania 31. It's funny because 10 years ago, WrestleMania 31, we watched it, you know, and it was fantastic. It was in San Francisco. And Seth Rollins, sure enough, kind of was raised, his hand was raised at the end of, that night. And here we are 10 years later. I should have known. It just, I wasn't expecting it to be that, as good, but man, I mean, it was, I'll put it this way. I'm glad that we didn't go to this one. I don't think I'd be too happy. I don't think I'd be too thrilled with this WrestleMania. Like 39 was epic,
Yep.
every which way,
And
even down to
LA, right?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, out in LA.
Out in LA. It was epic. Everything was epic. The feel of this weekend was there. I mean, the crowd was there, the audience, the stage design was excellent. Like, I thought it was better than 40 and 39.
Yeah, it was really good. The ramp looked really good too.
Yeah.
Like visually on the TV and everything.
Exactly. Everything was really good. Night 2. I say there were some like gaps in night 1, but I will say that it's just that main event. I mean, if you don't end on a high note, people are going to be left with a bad taste in your mouth.
Oh yeah. 39 when we were there, or was it? I don't remember.
That was 39, and that was when Roman Reigns defeated Cody Rhodes. The first time. It was also the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. Both ended on a emotionally charged ending, and both matches were epic. Like, I mean, we were going nuts.
Was for sure, especially with the tag titles the first night, and then like I don't know about you, but it was feeling like it was going to set up the theme for the weekend or something.
Pretty much.
Like,
and
I was watching it, like if they win this, then that means that they, doing the calculations.
And that's the kind of the theme of 42. You knew that The Rock and Roman Reigns defeating Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins was going to lead to a kind of a no holds barred situation. Pretty much, I guess, bloodline rules. It all led. The weekend had a progression. Yeah, that didn't happen this time.
No,
there really was no consistency. There was no fluidity like the last 2 WrestleManias.
Yeah. I mean, last year's the last 2 years, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns were like the focus of the whole WrestleMania, and then this year we have 2 very distinct main events where one of them is kind of overshadowing the one that shouldn't be overshadowed.
Yeah. A lot of thoughts because honestly, I feel like Seth Rollins is about to become the ultimate heel. He's about to become the guy.
Come home, Seth. Come home.
And then meanwhile, you got a John Cena who's definitely on top of the world. But interesting. I definitely want to get into my idea for the main event of WrestleMania 41 Night 2. I mean, like I said, it had great moments, and we're gonna get into it. Okay. So without further ado, let's go. Night 1 was held April 19th, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada. Started out with Jey Uso defeating Gunther, taking on, winning the World Heavyweight Championship. And this one went about a little over 16 minutes. I mean, this sets the tone. I had said in the predictions that obviously Uso was going to win, but I was a little concerned that the fact that they were starting this thing. If you don't come in hot, if you don't start the show hard, it sets the tone. And of all the matches to start it, this kind of threw me off because you'd think that they would get at least a second to last match, something. But I thought it was underwhelming. I mean, they did, for the most part, what they needed to do, but they didn't kick it into 4th gear. It's the way I saw it.
Yeah, it finished that storyline out.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't see it going any further. I don't know what it means for Gunther, but just the fact that, it's interesting on this. What was it? It was only a few months ago where Gunther was in that triple threat match with Damian Priest and who was the other guy that
was it Finn Balor or no?
No, it was
Damian Priest.
Was it no? It was the Monster Among Was it
Braun Strowman?
Braun Strowman, I think, and he ends up just Was it Braun Strowman? I don't know. It was some other big dude, but I remember he just ends up he wins the match by just destroying the two of them and basically penny the equivalent of penning both of them at the same time. And like now he's, he was like the monster status at that point,
Yeah.
and now he's lost to Jey Uso, which is not normally, it's not a bad thing,
Right.
but it's like, damn, they made him into the like undefeatable seeming, and then now where are they going to go with him?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Here's another way of looking at it. Last year it was Sami Zayn versus Gunther, and Gunther was like unstoppable. This was for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
I think they were the second to last match, something like the second to last match before like the main event of the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Now you got Gunther starting this thing, and he's definitely not. He didn't have the intensity like he did with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn versus Gunther. Go back and watch that match. It was insane.
Yeah.
They took it to the next level. It was arguably I would say like the second to third best match the whole weekend. And you could tell they took it to another level.
Yeah, for whatever reason, the build up to this WrestleMania event was really slow. Where it was basically the week before, 2 weeks before, something like that, when they had the segment where Jimmy Uso or Jay gets handcuffed to the ropes, and then Gunther is like beating up on Jimmy, bloodies them, and all that kind of stuff. And where the Sami Zayn match from last year, like you're talking about, just this huge buildup, the animosity was there, and so I don't know, maybe they opened the show with this one because it did have some kind of like energy building around it, and it was to make up for maybe a weaker card, or maybe they felt might be a weaker card, so that get people in the beginning.
Maybe that would make sense because. Yeah, it had its build. Obviously, Jimmy Uso was involved.
Yeah,
the little last moment with him getting brutally bloodied, but I don't know. You'd think it would have gotten again. This is another match could have gotten bloody in Retribution.
I mean, you pretty much got the match you kind of expected to see, which makes it wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like great. It was, I guess you could say it was good. If I was going to give it a rating, I'd give it a B.
Yeah,
which is like I could give it like 3 stars, 3.25 at most.
Yeah, there was even moments where it was better than that, but overall,
right?
Yeah.
The second match was New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods versus the War Raiders.
Yeah,
Eric and Ivar. This one went just over 9 minutes. Everything was as expected.
I mean, honestly, for a while it's been. I forgot who the tag team champions were.
Yeah,
right. I don't. The War Raider thing. The War Raiders is not doing it for me at all. But
I mean, they have ability, but they used to have such a better gimmick.
Absolutely.
They're not even. I mean, it's like even during their interviews, they don't come out acting like War Raiders. They just come out looking like dudes with like sweatshirts and jeans.
Wannabe like motorcycle. Like gang or something.
Yeah, what happened to the War Raiders? What happened to the it used to be War Machine. It was awesome. I mean
they addressed it, but it was like they just lost this intensity now, and they deemed this when they came back like the gimmick. Well, not the gimmick, but they had their career-ending could-be surgeries, and then they worked real hard, got back here, and now this is their final shot at it, but they got it. They got the titles, and then it was just it didn't matter anymore.
Right. I don't know where they're going with this.
Yeah.
I will say that New Day comes out. They're rocking this. The commentators pointed out it was like almost like a tribute or throwback to Giant Gonzalez with the kind of the naked suit, similar somewhat. And then on the back they had the 3-headed unicorns, where one of the heads is like dying in symbolism, a symbol towards Big E.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are they really are they going anywhere with this? Is Big E actually gonna make a return? I don't think it's going anywhere.
I don't
know
either.
What to say.
I've read some articles on it, and I try not to get too far into those like rumor type
the dirt sheets. Yeah,
I couldn't help myself.
Sure.
And the confusion seems to lie in if he's been actually cleared, or if he hasn't, and the fact that he just might be retired. This
guy's been out since like 2021, 2022. It's not 2020. I mean, it's been years.
Yeah. So
I mean, I hate to break it. It sucks too because he had just won the WWE Championship, lost it, then boom.
Yeah, it feels like they keep teasing the fact that like they're gonna bring him back,
Right?
But then it's like, no.
But even worse,
still doing commentary on pre-shows.
Putting the straps on these two guys, with everything that's going on, just goes to show the WWE has no idea what the hell. They have no plans for the tag team championship division. They really don't.
I love it.
No, they have no plans
because they're putting the ultimate bad guys on.
Yeah, they're good, and I do enjoy that. I always have and always will enjoy Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, but it's like they're not taking it to any significance. So this is their way of saying we trust these guys with the belts. Let's just give to them.
Yeah, it just seems like the division's so weak right now.
Yeah,
that they just these guys are heels, but they're the most established of all time tag team. Let's give it to them. Otherwise this division is just going to flounder right now.
Right.
And how long can you really keep New Day away from a division like that? Even if they're heels? I mean, it's like they're not. New Day is good, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I even love this new version, but they're just.
I do too.
They probably shouldn't have been champions at this point. Probably not, but I love it.
Oh, I could see it coming. I could tell. I was like, okay, they're back in the conversation for the tag titles. So I was like, okay, as long as they're in the conversation, I have no doubt that they can get. It's just there's just no real build towards it. Yeah. Not only that, they don't know what the hell. There's nothing that's going to follow through with this. That's the big one. Nothing's coming of this. I just don't see it. Yeah. What are they going to do? Do have an open challenge? I don't know. They're not going to do anything with it. These guys, I mean, I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Like Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods, they've kept things comedic, sometimes to an entertaining level. But it's like they never. It's hard to take these guys super like real seriously.
Yeah, and that could be a solution that could be part of the new this heel stable of the New Day, where maybe the super serious thing, that maybe they can bring in sarcasm and some less ridiculous humor, but some elements of New Day where instead of lighthearted, it's just really them being big assholes, but they use humor and comedy and stuff.
They could always be comedic, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there were plenty of factions that have done it. As long as...
Like D-Generation X. I mean, they were just
thinking of D-Generation X. They could be funny, but you knew they were serious. Mm-hmm. You knew they meant business, and they were confident in what they were saying.
Well, would you like them, were there, what if they started doing that? Would you be down with this version of New Day?
Absolutely. Yeah? Absolutely. I'd be down with Kofi. I always wanted Kofi Kingston to, essentially lead a stable. Mm-hmm. Okay. And he would pretty much be, on the verge. And he even has the right look. You just got to, make him into a super dick and be for real about it. Maybe throw in a few valets. Mm-hmm. I've been, you know what I mean? Valets that they also, maybe are condescending towards, but make sure those valets do the job. These divas. But
I mean, anyone in NXT or something like that could be brought up for that or something.
Absolutely. So, anywho, moving forward.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's some of these matches.
Yeah, seriously, because that's kind of the theme of night one, is that it is pretty underwhelming until it gets to about match 4. And then we could talk about some things. But Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Again, just over 9 minutes. They keep this going, except for that heavyweight championship match. They kept things well under 10 minutes, or maybe just a little over. But either way, this one, again, they did okay. It's good, but it's not WrestleMania good. And it's Naomi, again, expected Cargill to win. She needs the push, desperately needs the push. And, it's I'm glad she won, but in the end, all I can remember is the crowd cheering for Naomi, doing her thing, being a veteran. She did well. Cargill having a little bit sloppy and had a few good spots. But again, I ask, where is this going for Cargill?
Well, yeah, it's I don't know if you look at what the haters say. It's because she can't wrestle.
Oh, I know, and I hate that because it's like I don't care. Like she's green, like she is green. She's only been in the business for a few years, and even then, she has not done the reps. She has not had, even when she was in AEW, she wasn't wrestling a lot. She was more like a showpiece. She was an attraction.
Yeah, even Dominic's pretty decent now.
We're gonna get into that, which was. But that might be my favorite match of the night of the weekend.
I just meant in the sense of like, remember when he first started?
Yes.
Like he was. Horrendous, and now he's. And besides the fact that he's an Intercontinental Champion, but she'll get better.
Oh yeah, that match, I'm telling you, I was laughing, jumping for joy. I was so happy. I could even take it back and say that might have been like the highlight of the weekend. If we were there, I would have gone nuts. This is the best.
I would have been loving it.
I'll be like, you know what? I don't really care what happened because at least Dominic Mysterio won this thing, and I made the call. I was like, of all the people that could win this thing, so much talent in the ring, I'm going to go with Dirty Dom.
Yeah.
Going with Dirty Dom, and sure enough, this guy won this thing. And to all the people that can't stand him, I say, F you, Dirty Dom is your Intercontinental
champion. He's the best heel right now.
He's on top of the world, and he's gone, and you mentioned it, and I mentioned it before, and time again, I'll continue to do it. We're jumping the gun here, but Dominic Mysterio has come so far. I vividly remember
20-year career.
Back in like the end of 2018 when this guy was making appearances with his father, just a little boy, like what the hell are you doing here on TV? Get the hell off my TV. What is this? To, okay, I'm starting to see what's going on. This is great. He's a heel. This is awesome. This is great. I just keep doing it. I don't care how much people hate you. Just keep doing it. You're getting better. You're getting better. And now here you are.
Yeah, now he's got a legitimate frog splash. He's got.
He sells good. He looks like he does certain things in the ring. You can tell he can work. He's a good worker. He's good with the public. I'm sorry, but yeah.
He's embraced this slime role, and he is. I don't know. Maybe he really is Eddie Guerrero's son, but like the sleaziness of that, like lie, cheat, and steal kind of
dirty Dom.
Like he's like the dirty Latino heat, and he's embracing it. He's great. He's being a star in his role. He really is.
I'm like looking forward to his career, like for the next 10 years. I'm just the sky's the limit with this guy. Okay, he just has to keep doing what he's doing.
Should we keep talking about it, or because I got more to say, but I don't want to
You can go ahead and pop it off because as soon as we get into this next match, I mean that's pretty much all I have to really say about Cargill, other than where is it going to go? I don't think but yeah, more on Dirty Dom.
With the biggest part of the distraction for the match with Cargill and Naomi was one, Cargill's wardrobe malfunctions over and over again, and. Yeah, it just I don't know. It was underwhelming, and remember when she was in AEW, she was kind of getting that kind of stuff. Terrible at wrestling, all this kind of stuff. I guess the disappointing and what's really fueling it up and maybe making it feel is that it's been over a year now since AEW, and considerably over a year, and. It really wasn't that good a match, but she's amazing talent. But I would have thought at least with Naomi and stuff like that, I thought, I don't know. It was a letdown emotionally.
It was a letdown. It was a letdown because they did certain things, but it's it wasn't enough. I can say that I wanted it to be enough, but it wasn't. Yeah, in my heart of hearts, I know it wasn't.
But I don't want to be a hater here.
I'm not even trying to be a hater. I want to say this match was good, not WrestleMania good. It was decent. It was okay enough.
Good,
But to be really critical about it, to be honest with ourselves, the match wasn't quite wasn't on par. It should have been better. She needs to get more reps in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Serious reps in the ring. Maybe give her a heel run or something.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got all the abilities. She's got the look. She's got so many things going for her. But what?
Yeah. And that's the issue is that her look and like you can just. It's not even just the look. It's you can see how physically dominating she is, and
she's got the ability. She's got the athleticism.
She can't be developed and like off on the side. She can't. They have to put her out and sink or swim, and just keep going. Like
you have to keep
she's
going.
She's gonna have pain points along the way for sure.
Right. You got to get more reps. She's got to have reps. She's got to develop the rapport with the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And the chemistry to make these matches work. Otherwise, it will never happen.
In AEW, she was actually they gave her some mic work.
Yeah,
and why it wasn't ground shaking.
They gave her a TNT run, so she had matches.
Yeah,
I felt like she was getting better.
She was a heel. She was doing like kind of more cowardly things at the end, but she was like doing longer promos. She wasn't just saying the standard stuff. She was showing personality, attitude, stuff like that. And now it's gone. It's well, she's just pissed because she got attacked, but I get that. But even when she came in, it's like there's a leash, a very short leash right now.
Yeah, exactly. There is a short leash.
So that's why it's
affecting her work.
And,
yeah.
So, well, you want to move on to the next one? Yeah. Let's get back to that.
Okay, well, because I know you had something you wanted to point out.
I've already forgotten it, so.
Okay, well, we'll get back to it. Hopefully, forget about it now. Yeah. It'll come back to you while we're there, and you can just pop in and say something about it.
One of the things I do, like after the follow-up, is probably the most funny thing is his interview after the fact. I don't know.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I'll go back and watch
the match first.
Okay, we'll get to it. Okay, we'll get to that interview. Yeah. Number 4, Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight. Again, I think that this is where things get. This was a hell of a match. This was a good match. Only just over 10 minutes and 40 seconds, but I think it did everything it needed to do because these guys were intense. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It wasn't like a sleeper at all. It was like they went like 9, 10 the whole time.
Yeah. They kicked it into like 5th gear the whole time, and I liked it, especially that ending. I went back and watched the ending like a couple times, like the finish. Just showed my wife. I was like, look at what this 280 something, I don't know what the hell pound dude is about to do. He's about to like hit this one move where he bounces off his back and hits the dude with his back. And then he's going to run and hit a moonsault twice.
Yeah.
I mean, and get back up, like just to get back up and do it again, like the way he did it. This guy is so incredibly athletic.
Yeah.
And just naturally gifted. It's amazing. And I do enjoy watching him. I hope he has a hell of a U.S. championship run where he gets to just start taking out all of the mid-card.
Oh, yeah.
And everything in between,
Yeah, and holds on to it until they're ready to really put him into the main event or something.
Yeah, they have a monster heel holding this mid-card title. They better hold on to it until somebody's worthy of, like, taking it off him.
Yeah, until they're ready to invest in this guy as, like, a headliner.
Yeah. And it makes perfect sense because the way I see it, LA Knight, he's done everything he needs to do with that title. I think he's ready to move on to bigger and better things. Go to Raw and vie for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it's not for, a few months so Jay can have a little bit of a run,
Right.
Like, absolutely. I don't care what Booker T says. You're wrong. The hype on LA Knight has not gone down.
Oh, it really
hasn't. It's only just been suppressed.
It's just been suppressed a little bit. I swear. For a moment, throughout the year, I was like, I don't know if LA Knight, has lost some of his momentum because I remember it being really high. But then I go back and watch SmackDown. And I'm like, damn, he's still loved. People still love this guy.
We're just waiting.
He still has that energy when he comes out. He's still hot.
Yeah,
he's going to be World Heavyweight Championship. And that's going to happen.
That's all.
I don't necessarily think that Jey Uso will drop it to him, but I do think that Jey will drop it to a heel, and that heel will drop it to LA Knight.
Oh, that
this time next year, we'll have a program with LA Knight versus whoever for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania.
Well, he might win the Royal Rumble then.
Maybe.
I mean, we don't know where the storyline's going to go with John Cena and all, but
right. Exactly. We don't know. It's a long ways away, but I mark my words. LA Knight is due for a heavyweight championship run sometime between now and at the end of WrestleMania 42. We'll have this
Absolutely.
going on.
I mean,
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna. At first, it was when that hype really started. I thought it was gonna be then, and then last year I thought it was gonna be it, but they really have just kept him where it seems like he's like you take a bottle of soda and you've just
Yeah.
shaken it up and you're trying to keep the top on, you know?
Yeah.
And as soon as they like open it, it's just gonna burst and
Well,
like
this is the proof. I mean, the proof's in the pudding. This is it right here because I'll tell you right now, his match with AJ Styles was really good last year.
Mhm.
This match was better, I
Yeah.
think. I don't even think he was given more time. Still, this match was better. They can't deny him now because he's literally just made a new like champion in Jacob Fatu. He really just made another superstar, and
Yeah.
people all eyes are on Jacob Fatu now. But really, it's credit to LA Knight.
Yeah.
So
Here's what interesting. So Jacob Fatu could be going into this kind of like LA Knight slot, you know, like
Right.
you can see it. Maybe they don't want to develop it too fast and just have him fizzle out at the top, or you know, go up and face somebody, lose all the momentum. So I expect if LA Knight's going on to the the top here, that Jacob Fatu is now in that holding spot, but we're going to just really showcase you, get people familiar with you,
Yeah.
and showcase you for a year until we're ready to do something with you. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Jacob Fatu. I mean, down the line, people are he could end up. He could also end up in the the main event World Heavyweight Championship picture. But yeah, LA Knight's go. I mean, I hope they don't do this. I mean, but they tend to do things like this when it's least necessary. They swap the titles, but I do think that the WWE Championship will stay on SmackDown. The World Heavyweight Championship will stay on Raw, and I think that LA Knight will be drafted to Raw. That's what I think is going to happen. Yeah.
yeah. One of the
And you'll know it's happening. You know he'll be given that title when you see that he's drafted to Raw.
oh
Yep.
yeah, it'll be an obvious path to the
Mm-hmm.
main event.
Yeah.
But one of the interesting things for me with LA Knight is that you know, some wrestlers once they get the championship, that's when the momentum ends for them. They were better in the chase than necessarily as the champion. You know, it's
Yep.
kind of a different dynamic. In AEW, Adam Page was a prime example of that, and a lot of time,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the face, you know, ones that are all about like I thought Cody's story was going to kind of be like that, but to get back to that because I was obviously wrong. Um, LA Knight is one of those that where I think he's like The Rock. Well, some people say he's kind of ripping him off, but once he gets the spotlight on him, that's when he shines the most.
Yeah.
And him having a belt will make the character even more cocky, ego, and double down on what makes LA Knight awesome, which is his. I mean, it is his image, but it's
his charisma.
It's his
Yeah.
charisma, his ability on the mic. It's like
Yeah.
you want to love him, and I think having a belt like that, just in being the guy for that moment, is going to take him to a level we haven't seen.
I think so too. I agree, and I hope so because I see it. I felt like everything from his match to even prior to his entrance when he came out with that vehicle, that sweet ride.
Mhm.
He comes off like he is the guy, and he's a mid carder right now, and that's fine because The Rock, you could tell even when he was an Intercontinental Champion, WrestleMania 14, you could tell this guy was going to be the guy. I didn't think it was going to happen so quickly, and maybe that's why it's like, we're wondering why it's taken so long. And maybe that's just kind of how we've been conditioned at this point.
Yeah.
But for a while there, I was like, The Rock is eventually going to be the WWE Championship champion. I did not think it was going to be so fast. But yeah, this guy, they're stretching him.
Yeah. Well, I got a question for you then.
Yeah.
Because I just thought about it. Going back to Jey Uso, then. What kind of champion do you think he will be? Do you think he's the one that's maybe better, the challenge, the run up to it, the challenge, the hype, or do you think he is better as a champion?
I mean, that's a good question.
Because that's my fear. that he's going to be kind of a lame duck type of champion because it was the build-up, the emotional build-up to get him the belt.
I think he's a chase guy, basically.
Yeah.
What you're kind of leaning on means he's kind of a chase guy, and which can be a good thing, but not in this case because I think that it's going to be fun for him to be the champion. I think he's going to have some cool matches here and there. Picture Kofi Kingston when he was the WWE champion.
Yeah. When Kofi Mania kind of ended, and
this is Uso Mania right now, and that's what we got. And it's somebody's going to come along and basically just beat the hell out of him and take that title.
Like you said, a heel most likely.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a heel.
Yeah, most
likely. But I could be wrong. But probably a badass heel who's going to just stomp him.
Well, when you say badass, I think of Braun Breaker. But
like a Braun Breaker would be pretty
Jey
cool.
Uso did beat him,
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: if Seth Rollins stays on Raw, you could see Seth Rollins take that. Title
he doesn't have a belt. He definitely doesn't
have a belt. He needs a belt, and then he could drop that title to LA Knight, and that essentially would make LA Knight.
Bravo, Chris. I like this. I like where you're going with this. I like where you're going with this.
Rollins is a wild card because he could end up on SmackDown. We don't even know. But yes,
I think you're right about Raw, though. I think he goes to Raw. I mean, he needs to do something crazy now because he's got Paul Heyman.
Yeah,
it kind of guarantees you a belt in a lot of ways, and
kind of
You're making me see things in a new light. I love it.
Yeah. But anywho, this was a fun match. I enjoyed it. We move forward to the fifth match of night one, El Grande Americano in the Gulf of Mexico versus Rey Fénix.
I love it.
This match. That's some good points.
This is my Dominic Mysterio match of night one. The one that I'm just elated over because I was having so much fun. Yeah.
Ridiculous match. 7 minutes and 55 seconds. I wanted to see Rey Mysterio, but apparently he got injured.
Yeah.
So you bring in Rey Fénix, who's an incredible wrestler, right?
Who debuted like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Out of nowhere. And I'm like, this guy is in a lot of ways better than Pentagon, but I like Pentagon more. But in AEW, if I'm not mistaken, John, help me out here, but Fénix, wasn't he like?
He was the high flyer of the two. He was the more acrobatic one. He was
That's all I wanted to confirm.
Jeff Hardy, and Penta was the Matt Hardy.
Thank you. That's why I needed to hear.
Yeah.
So here comes Rey Fénix. You would expect these two to go nuts.
Yeah, you would have thought so. The Lucha Bros are in WWE, but they're not the Lucha Bros.
I thought El Grande Americano looked excellent in the ring. I thought he did everything, like some good stuff. But I feel like Fénix was like underwhelmed. I feel like this could have been so much better.
I think it was a victim of just the thrown together at the last minute. Unfortunately,
okay. I'll grant that. Okay, that makes sense.
Like if you could have had Rey Mysterio, you would have had Rey Mysterio in the match.
And they were setting it up for that.
As my Cole called it, the greatest luchador of all time, versus El Grande Americano, which is, Chad Gable's, the luchador's Chad Gable's kryptonite. So,
right.
So you want him, you don't want Rey Fénix, which I don't know, it's fine.
They were planning for probably a very more well thought out program. So to take him out of the equation and put in Rey Fénix, while a good idea, in theory, the build is not there, the planning is not there, they probably didn't know what the hell they were doing. So they did
let's be honest, you could have had any luchador at this point because it's Chad Gable's storyline. It
could have been what's his name? Anybody from the LWO for that matter.
Really,
I'm sorry. This is terrible to say, but it's true.
Or I forget the other guy's name, the other luchador mask guy. Dragon Lee.
Santiago.
That's how much weight they have right now.
So sad.
They're jobbers for sure. They tried to make them not jobbers, but they're jobbers now, unfortunately. Because they could have been really cool. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I enjoy Lucha Libre. I enjoy, this is why I love, New Japan, and by the way, in case you didn't know, WWE acquired AAA
Yep.
There's a lot of good wrestlers, and you know this, yeah, because with AEW they've been showcased. Now they're owned by WWE.
Interesting. So they bought up. Was it TNA or right?
Is that right?
Yeah. They bought TNA. I believe it was. God, I want to say it's. I really
New Japan.
It's a major promotion. I just don't want to. I feel like I'm doubting myself right now. But it was TNA, and now they bought Lucha Libre. So they're buying up some of these bigger companies for sure.
Right. Yeah.
And they had the owner of Lucha Libre, and she had this like crazy hair thing that was like completely rounded, and like I was like, she looks like a wrestling promoter for sure.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see, say the least. But yeah, I really have nothing much to say about it. I mean, it's Grande Americano. It is. I don't even remember something off the top.
Move thing, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. The flying headbutt.
Yeah,
with the plate in his head.
But he's plating, I guess. I remember what they called. This match was cool. For me personally, just because I really love this new Chad Gable persona.
Yeah.
I like that he's no longer. I mean, what they played with him as a Olympic athlete when he was brought in, and then humble, and then like no personality guy, and then they brought him back and did a lot of things, Alpha Academy, and now he's like I don't know, he's like embracing this like. It's not a jobber, but because he's getting actual.
He's getting
promotion.
A spot, and he's
but
he's total
he's like embracing kind of like Kurt Angle, the silliness of it.
Exactly, he's definitely a Kurt Angle.
But
it's approached differently.
Mm-hmm.
This is like totally something that now. El Grande Americano is totally something that Kurt Angle would have done.
Absolutely, and it's just.
But he didn't do it.
He doesn't feel weird at all doing these things. Yeah. Like the promo they did when they went down to Mexico and showed him like searching the streets to find the secrets of the luchador, and it was like some guy with a box, and he paid.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
He got ripped off but paid for. Like all that stuff was hysterical, and like he might not. Okay, he's probably never going to get a world championship ever. But
probably not.
He's more entertaining than most of the show right now for me.
Sure, that's really all you need, and he's definitely offensive, and it's in the. I'm sorry, but in the best kind of way.
Oh,
that's kind of offensiveness,
like kind of play.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's totally playing on that. It's totally pissing people off.
With the rest of the guys too, and then. Ivy Nile and the Creed brothers or whatever.
Exactly. Who, by the way, is an excellent tag team. I hope to see them win the tag team championships already.
Yeah, surprisingly, like even more athletic than I would have thought.
Oh, they're very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good. But yeah, that's all I have to say on about that one.
Match didn't matter, but it was really fun.
Yeah. Number 6, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. This one went 19 minutes.
Yeah.
This was for the WWE Women's Championship. They did, I think they did everything they needed to do. For real. Like, this match was, and again, honestly, I thought it was better than I thought it was going to be. So I'm happy for that. I could not stand the build. I thought these two interviewing was terrible. It was just a terrible back and forth.
Yeah.
But they put on a good match.
Wrestling-wise, the build was good. As far as, like, personalities-wise, it was just not compatible somehow.
And it's funny because, I was like, so in my prediction, I was like, okay, Charlotte's going to win this. I have to go with Charlotte. I can't vote against her at this point.
It's hard.
I'm sorry. But it's interesting because of all the people that I you can think about that is an exception to this rule is Tiffany Stratton. The fans love her.
Yeah.
And you can tell WWE loves this woman.
Yeah,
you can tell they are pushing this woman so hard.
Absolutely, and like you said, the big point about it, the fans are actively booing Charlotte, and honestly, probably getting behind Tiffany a little more than they should at this point. She's still a little green in certain areas,
that's kind of where I'm going with. Like the audience, honestly, like I feel like you got like those of you in the crowd And those of you that watch this woman, y'all are some marks because Tiffany is not that good. I'm sorry. She showed tonight that she is good and she can go and she has a lot of like stamina and endurance. She's strong. She's got tenacity, the fortitude. She's got ability. She's gonna get better and better. But she has not been this good. This was a match that kind of elevated her. Prior to that, she wasn't all that great. Her gimmick's not that great. Her gimmick's just another diva acting like a privileged pretty girl that demands your attention and your love and your adoration. That's all she is.
Yeah. I mean, we've had that quite a bit. We had the Iconics that were
we talked about the
annoying
Iconics
version
before,
of that
and that's
dynamic.
What she is. That's what she is. It's like,
yeah.
So what is she to you guys, other than just like the flavor of the month?
There's something to her. I don't know what it is that somehow she is way less annoying and more entertaining than the other ones did. I don't know if she just somehow knows how to toe the line or what, but I will give it to her. There is a difference for sure where it pulls you in instead of pushes you away.
And that's kind of where I'm going with this. She shows in the match, like especially in this match, that she not only toes the line outside of the ring, on the mic, but in the ring, she does put on a hell of a match. She's athletic. She can go. She's doing things that most of these other, quote unquote, as I said, flavor of the months, privileged women, wrestlers, she shows that she's not that.
I mean, her gymnastic background speaks for itself and her athleticism and like some of her moves, like the prettiest moonsault. Like, I think it's just she's already this damn good. Like
she's got and the physicality too. She's strong. She's well built.
Yeah.
She's kind of like a perfect balance between like if you think about someone like Alexa Bliss, who's also a gymnast.
But
who can also do aerial.
Though.
I'm sorry,
but she's not as big as her.
Exactly. Yeah. I was like saying she's like literally dead set in the middle between like a freaking. I'm not going to say a Rhea Ripley, but like she's not
really a powerhouse, but
she's not a powerhouse. She really is in the middle.
But she's very strong. Yeah.
And I'll give her that. And that's why I'm saying like, that's kind of where I'm opening up to her on that regard. Still can't stand her on the mic. Still can't stand her unless you put this woman in a real storyline with a real like character where she can actually set it up.
Yeah.
They need
to humanize her for real.
Really have to humanize this woman more. I feel like they did it in the ring. Now you got to do it outside of the ring. You can't keep this going. Yeah. So Charlotte, I mean, honestly, she did what she needed to do. She does what she does in the ring at WrestleMania. She can go. Can't, her personality is garbage. Terrible.
Especially lately.
And especially when you hear about anything that you can't even like avoid it. The news that you hear about her personal life. I'm not even looking for her personal life, and yet it comes up.
Yeah.
And you find out about this stuff, and it's like, because it's thrown in her faces. But when she goes in the ring, she can go.
She can go, and maybe she's not even have a gimmick anymore. I think this is just her now. But
it really is just her. And it's like, and the storyline here was that, that knee, I guess, played a factor. Her rehabilitated knee. I like the way she was kind of like especially towards like the latter half of the match. She's kind of like having that look on her face that's like, what do I have to do to beat this woman? I really do have to give props to this woman, Tiffany Stratton. Yeah. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I feel like it surprised me in a lot of ways. So I'll give him credit.
Made it look good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
People will look at us and be like, oh, these guys are terrible. They're talking shit about Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. No, I'm actually putting them up really high.
Yeah. If you go to it.
I need them to keep it going.
If you hear what we're saying we think she's a little green, but we think she's great.
Yeah.
And we're saying, wow, Charlotte, for as much as we kind of expect her just to get it, she's putting her over, making her look good, and Charlotte's actually, being a very good team player, all this kind of stuff. Yeah,
exactly. It's like exactly, for all her issues and or faults, she actually knows what the hell she's doing in the ring. Imagine that.
Absolutely. I mean, Tiffany Stratton, I'll admit it. It's only been in the last 6 months or so where I've really even come around to her. But uh, all the faults that I have for her doesn't mean that I don't think she's entertainment. But the reality is, the stuff that she's not that great at is the stuff that's going to come with the reps, like you're talking about.
Right.
It's going to come with, you do more promos, like it's going to smooth out. It's like the talent's there. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then we get to that triple threat match.
Mm-hmm.
Now this one, I mean, I gotta say, probably stole the show next to that last match. And of course, El Grande Americano.
I mean, that stole my heart. But
Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, definitely one of the key moments. Again, this night had its ups and downs, but this triple threat match kind of saved the show in terms of shoot the camera there. This match went 32 minutes 55 seconds, just under 33 minutes then, and Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. Loved that entrance for CM Punk with Living Color. Just like WrestleMania 29 when he faced The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It might have even been better.
Oh, it might have been better. But you know what? When Seth Rollins came out with his ring attire, I was like, oh my God, this asshole is going to win. He's going to win.
His was my favorite with the all white and like the spotlight kind of centric.
You see those glasses, Jonathan?
Yeah, I wish I had.
Do you know what? Did you? So the I guess the frames, right? Or what do you call them? They were thorns.
Oh, I didn't notice the detail.
Oh yeah, he was going Monday Night Messiah on you on Easter weekend.
Oh, on Easter or the night before? Yeah, you're right. Okay.
He was getting blasphemous on a whole nother level.
Oof.
This asshole.
But his entrance was
like, he's going to go full heel tonight. Paul Heyman's going to side with him.
Did you really see it coming?
I swear to God, I saw it coming, especially when I'm like dozing in out and I see Roman Reigns being like loved and like he's like Roman, Seth. I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna low blow the shit out of this dude now. He just low blowed CM Punk. Now he's gonna low blow Roman Reigns.
It's still real to me, damn it. I was hook, line, and sinker for every step of the way. I was like,
this asshole. I wanted to see. I predicted prior to the SmackDown, Roman Reigns was going to win this thing. I wanted Roman to win this thing. I love CM Punk. Obviously he's probably my favorite of this whole thing, but I don't care. I wanted to see Reigns win this. Now Roman is like, he's lost. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on with Roman, but I was really thinking, okay, this is going to be Roman Reigns, but I totally missed it. I missed the whole story here.
Yeah.
It's all come together. It was told excellently in the ring. They did everything they needed to do. I had a blast, and now you have the story is really like established.
Yeah, how long was the match again? Was it 30-something minutes?
About 33 minutes.
Yeah, so all those short matches, I guess they wanted to make sure they had the time.
I think so too.
Yeah.
They went all out. I mean, and the card was stacked, so I think it definitely went over 4 hours, but they gave the 33 minutes to this match.
Paul Heyman was the best.
Yeah, Paul Heyman was the best. Heyman was the best. Yeah. He was ridiculous. Yeah. Even his low blow where he was so over the top with it. Yeah, did this, and he was like, meh.
Like grinding it.
Hands the chair over to Seth Rollins. It was fantastic.
Seth just does the arm down, not even looking, like he knows what's happening, and just hands him the chair instead of he hands Roman a mic.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was like. Like he was handing him over a mic.
Dude, I was so gullible the whole time. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Oh my God. This changes
everything. This bastard is going to win. Can't believe this guy is going to win.
I know. And I was going in I was loving the conspiracy theories beforehand. Like, Paul Heyman had a Rock phone one time, and now that means the next night that the Rock's going to call in a favor to Paul Heyman, and then have Seth Rollins come down and interfere in the John Cena match. And I was like, the whole time, I'm drinking.
Well, that would have made sense. That would have made sense,
Yeah.
Because I feel like there should have been some connection between the two nights, and I do feel like The Rock should have been involved a lot more.
Yeah, that was weird. But that match, that was a great ending to the first
Yeah.
night, and honestly, in some ways, it probably should have been the ending of night 2.
Really should have. In
Unfortunately.
a lot of ways, when you talk about it, yeah, it kind of could have been the ending to the whole weekend or
Yeah.
the whole WrestleMania event, because that was the match.
It's
And I
only
feel
because
like
there
it
was no
had,
title involved is probably the reason.
yeah, that's the only reason.
Yeah.
And I feel like, but I also feel like it was the build to it really came along throughout the entire year.
Yeah, it was overshadowing the John Cena Cody Rhodes build up in some ways. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I mean, there's so many factors, so many things about the I guess, I mean, it's just this whole thing could have gone so many different ways. I'm trying not to like get screwed off topic, but like the way I saw it would have made a hell of a lot more sense for, I mean, well, we definitely talk about this, but you know, I mean, I'm kind of like, because I don't want to, again, this could have been just Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, and Heyman could have done the same thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Would it have stolen the show? Maybe, but again, I felt like we could have had Punk versus, you know, Cody Rhodes,
Mm-hmm.
and Paul Heyman helps Punk, you know, defeat Cody Rhodes, and of course Cena maintaining a babyface role, and he's the one that beats Gunther.
I mean,
It's
that
too
was
many
one
what
of
ifs.
the ways it could have happened for sure. We were thinking.
Definitely. But as a result of all this, you know, of all these twists and turns, you get a triple threat match that essentially steals the entire weekend, and it wasn't even for a title.
I gotta be honest.
It
Like,
was
I
for
know
Paul Heyman.
it was
What's
for
up, buddy?
Paul Heyman, and that's
Yeah.
a big deal.
It was for Paul Heyman. And I pointed out, this has got to be like, I'm just going to say, this has got to be like one of the most, like just, like, man relationships of all time.
Yeah.
Where Roman and CM Punk are over here, like, fighting over Paul Heyman, like he's the belle of the ball. And then comes in Seth Rollins to steal him.
Yeah. That's
like,
great.
Yeah.
It would really, it's kind of interesting is they're doing character development on basically a manager. I mean,
I'm just
he's
gonna
the
say it
biggest
now.
manager of all time.
I mean, as if it hasn't already been established. Like, anything that Paul Heyman is involved in is essentially the main event of WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
Like, if it's Paul Heyman working the storyline, then just go ahead and give him the main event.
Mm-hmm.
If he has something to do with it, if he's connected in any way, just give him the main event.
Look at it, and they're developing Paul's character beyond just. I mean, I know he's double-crossed people and turned on people before,
sure,
but like not as much of the sniveling kind of coward and stuff. He stands up to Seth the other day. You know, maybe he hasn't turned yet. I don't know. You know, kayfabe,
right?
But the interesting thing is that Heyman is not a wrestler. Like the amount of pull he has on the storyline is greater than most of the other wrestlers, except for a select handful. And it's interesting, this storyline. And it's not just like an outside person becoming a central focus, like a Dominic, who's the custody match for Dominic. It's like a legit thing, like that alters.
It's the custody match for Paul Heyman.
Yeah, but this alters the landscape of WWE.
Oh, it really does.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that's what they were saying. Again, that hinted at it. That Seth was saying is like, this match essentially will alter the face of the of the WWE. And, you know, and then he ended it with, you know, and that's a spoiler alert. I was like, oh, this asshole. I mean, he's using Paul Heyman's lines, and essentially did, like I said, they started this match, you know, I guess focusing on Seth and Roman, and Punk was kind of like in the back playing the smart game, but that changed real quick.
Yep. And then to the highlights, the decision, which was really was just Punk and Roman at that point. Seth Rollins, I mean, they've set it up beautifully because you think he's an afterthought at this point, but really this is the pivotal moment.
Yeah. And I'll be going back and watching this one again and again because I definitely enjoyed this one. This was the match. But yeah.
But so I mean, where do they go from here with the each one? I mean, think we established we both probably think that Seth Rollins is on his way to a title, and but the more interesting thing, Roman doesn't really look. This wasn't really a loss for him in the sense of it was another turn for both him that Paul Heyman did on both him and Punk. So in some ways, they're both kind of it wasn't a real defeat in the sense it was a betrayal. So they still look strong. Like perhaps they would have one of them would have won. If this hadn't happened. But storyline though, what do we do with CM Punk and Roman Reigns? Are they going to feud against each other? Is one of them going to both of them going to feud against Seth Rollins still? I'm not sure where to go.
That's a very good question. We're going to hope maybe we'll get an insight towards it on Raw, but I will say this. I do think that CM Punk, I could see Punk gunning for Cena.
Yeah.
That's where I'm thinking. I mean, that's where I'm seeing it. A lot of people are thinking it too, is that CM Punk, Cena, SummerSlam. Maybe.
That's true, because Seth Rollins doesn't have a title right now. Right. Cena does have a title, and CM Punk, that feud could just be over now.
Yeah. I mean, and there could be a match. I could see Roman still going after Seth Rollins.
He's got to respond, right?
Yeah, he's got to respond. Punk, on the other hand, might have bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, I agree.
At some point, something's got to give. You know what I mean? One of these guys has got to kind of move on. And I think if anyone's going to move on, it's going to be Punk.
I could also see this happening. Speaking of moving on, to give Jey Uso the time on Raw. It's Seth Rollins with Paul Heyman now, feuding against Roman. They finish it up after a few months, and then Seth goes to Raw, like you were talking about, and vies for the title.
Yeah.
Perhaps he wins the feud through nefarious means with Roman Reigns, so he leaves SmackDown kind of with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah. That makes sense. But we shall see. Because, I mean, I'm trying to think here, but is Reigns SmackDown too?
Yeah, he's SmackDown.
He's SmackDown.
Bloodline all used to be SmackDown before.
Rollins is SmackDown too, right?
No, Rollins is Raw.
He's Raw.
He's Raw,
even though he was on SmackDown this past. But yeah, and
Punk is. I think he's technically Raw.
He's Raw.
Yeah.
So let's have I mean, we're already talking draft, but let's have Punk go to SmackDown. That's just the way I see it.
Yeah.
Let's have Reigns go to Raw.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, that works. And then you still have...
And this is all going to lead up. I mean, it's coming now. I mean, if they don't do it now, they're never going to do it. And they're going to make the biggest mistake of their lives.
Yeah.
Next year's WrestleMania has got to be Reigns and Rock. And that's it.
Yeah, that is...
they can't do anything else. Again, opening up LA Knight versus Rollins. And I know we're already thinking about WrestleMania a year from now, but I kind of see it in the start. That's
been the trend. They've kind of been planning these things out, storylining them for a year in some ways.
In a lot of ways, yeah. I do see it. There's got to be a Reigns and Rock match now or never. And that opens up Rollins and LA Knight. Could be completely wrong about this. But again, Punk could have a match with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes gets the belt back after CM Punk take way long-term booking with too many gaps to see. Because at one point we're going to get CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre again on Monday Night Raw. We're going to get a Seth Rollins versus a Rey Mysterio or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of these matches. But let's get into night 2.
Absolutely.
April 20th. And before we do, make sure, if you haven't already done so already, make sure to hit that like or subscribe button at Bad Guy Wrestling. at Channel Cortez 33. Get the ball rolling and get some exposure out there. Get some word, some conversation going. So,
like and subscribe for more.
Exactly. Night 2, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I completely completely forgot about Randy Orton and his match with Kevin Owens because they pretty much just scrapped it.
Mm-hmm. And they did a segment on like basically begging for an opponent.
Yeah. And I actually was a little bit turned off at what they were doing, but I was okay with what they did. How they finished it.
Fine, but it was definitely, that's when you get up to go do something else match.
Exactly, yeah. We'll talk about it, but let's start this off with the match. Probably, they say, one of the best opening matches of WrestleMania since Bret the Hitman Hart. Which, by the way, I'm rocking my Bret the Hitman Hart shirt, okay? Because this harkens, this WrestleMania being in Las Vegas harkens back to WrestleMania 9 in that Bret Hart literally lost to Yokozuna and had Hulk Hogan come in out of nowhere and win it. Not a great WrestleMania. And this one, unfortunately, we're getting bad luck in Las Vegas, but not to those people that might be saying that this WrestleMania was that bad. Absolutely not. This was not a bad WrestleMania. I'm not going to say that. I can tell you right now, worst WrestleMania in the last 10 years was WrestleMania 32. We'll talk. We'll get to that one day, but so far every WrestleMania has been decent.
Yeah.
But this opener was definitely really good. Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Went 14 minutes and 25 seconds. They took it to the next gear. That's what they did.
Mm-hmm.
The match was doing everything, normal stuff. And then all of a sudden it got into like 5th gear, 6th gear,
Oh, yeah.
on a brand new Corvette. It was epic towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on the edge of my seat because I was like, man, I called Bianca Belair winning, but I also said that what if Io Sky just comes out of nowhere and steals the show for both of these, just pulls the rug from under these challengers' feet. And that's what she did.
I mean, that's what they had to do to keep the belt on her.
Yeah. But what's interesting is that I swear it could have gone either way throughout this match. And that's what makes this such a great match, is you really did not know what the hell was going to happen towards the end. Rhea Ripley looked like she was really going to win at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And the crowd was feeling it.
And then
Bianca Belair.
Like, she was about to win the match.
For real. They all looked really good. Like, really good in the ring.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the way I go with this, from you take the match out of the storyline, this was an amazing match. This was incredible. The acrobatics from Io Sky, the power battle that you were getting between Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, especially near the end, with the failed attempts at Bianca Belair's finisher.
Sure.
Just how massively strong both of those women are, and then the athletic ability of Io Sky, amazing. Storyline wise, I don't know. I hated
interview was weak. It was a little bit like mixed up, convoluted, you might say, and it was also just a little bit underwhelming. And it was
I mean, Io Sky, I don't care what people. The match was great, but she still comes out looking kind of weak after this. Because it was basically a distraction. Those two focusing on each other, and she was able to take advantage of it to retain the title. That's the way I see it.
Here's the way I see it. Is that this is the way I see it, is that Bianca Belair, and I'm agreeing with you on this, because Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, when they were going at it, I really was like, you know what? I really wish that this was their match.
Yeah.
Like, this was the match.
I wanted Rhea Ripley those two Bianca Belair to go at it.
And it looked like it would have been a hell of a match just between those two.
Absolutely. And
I've seen it. Io Sky can go with anybody. I'm sorry?
And it's not to say there was anything wrong with this match.
Right.
This match was amazing, but when you saw, to reinforce what you're saying, but when you saw those two, juggernauts going at each other, you just wonder, wow. This is a headliner, because they're arguably the two best women, going at it, and you're just like, that's probably where it should have been.
Match I wanted.
Yeah.
And it's they're the two best. I'm sorry. Flair's good and all. Tiffany's doing her thing. It was just like we talked about. They're not on this level. these are the two best women in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's nothing against Flair. She's starting to get old herself. I mean, it's like,
Right.
you know.
And honestly, I think Io Sky is just as good. But again, for physicality's sake and for their ability on the mic
Yeah.
and their ability to kind of like charge the audience, you can't, when it comes to mic work, nobody's going to beat these two right now.
Well, Io Sky's not going to beat them.
Absolutely not.
That's nothing against her, but it's
not against her, but
reality.
the language barrier is going to affect her.
It's a real thing, and I think it still continues to affect with her. I mean, she's kind of got an advantage with over a lot of other Japanese wrestlers, is with the ability to do these high flying moves.
Of course.
But
they still haven't figured it out yet, Jonathan. Yeah. If you want to go past the barrier, I mean, look no further, Jonathan, than Yokozuna. Do you know who's managing him? He had two managers. He had Mr. Fuji as the manager, but then he had Jim Cornette as the voice man, and Cornette is essentially like another Paul Heyman.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, they basically put her in a stable. They formed Damage Control, but the real thing was that Bayley overshadowed all of them and she had already been a champion, Io Sky, and Bayley overshadows. They break up the group. Well, they don't break up the group. They kick Bayley out. Yeah. But the only person who speaks English well is Dakota Kai, and she's injured. She's not doing that, and so it's just the storylines just break down so fast. And that's another thing with her title reign. Is it going to be she was better chasing it, or like how long can it really be? And it's nothing against her. It's just, wrestling is not just about wrestling. Is the unfortunate part,
right?
Yeah.
And in order to kind of keep the story going, in order to keep a character interesting out of the ring, you have to include, especially if they have a language barrier, you have to include a valet or a manager. You have to. Or you have to do some serious editing and be creative about it, like they've done in the past. You get interviews with them speaking Japanese with subtitles, doing certain things. That's the only way it's going to go. You can't just expect them to kind of pull their own weight when there's an obvious disadvantage.
Yeah. How do you feel about this? Would you rather a Japanese wrestler? I mean, I guess it would go with any wrestler that's a non-native speaker to English. And would you rather them just not attempt to do like the translation or the one word type things, unless it's like to reinforce something, and just stick to the fact that they don't speak English,
right?
Or what I've seen more recently is the broken like one or two sentence things where they're trying to piece together something to put fear in the opponent, but and then like the other women are they're acting like they're shook up by what it says, but it's so ridiculous,
It's flat. It comes off flat. I prefer the former.
I guess that was a loaded question. Sorry.
I mean, it's a loaded question, but it's true. You got to do it right. Let the person say as very little as possible, and when they say something, it means something.
Yeah.
They don't need to say much. They can practice that one sentence as good as possible, as well as possible, so that when it comes out, it comes out strong.
So she comes out and she says, "Asuka's gonna kill you,"
Exactly. Like, you die.
Yeah.
Come Thursday, you die.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all you have to say. It's like, I've heard actually recently on the mic, there was a New Japan event in Chicago, and the New Japan Pro Wrestling champion currently goes and speaks to the crowd, and he straight up tells them, he's like, "Look, I don't speak English.
Yeah.
But let me go ahead and like try to help you. Like, let me just say one thing real quick." And he said it, explained it, and Hiroki Goto, he's great, and of course, and people love him for it. People give him more respect for it because he's being honest with them. He's like, "Look, I don't know how to speak English."
Yeah,
he said that. So. Then he starts speaking Japanese, and he sounds charged when he speaks Japanese. He sounds eloquent. You can tell the man knows how to speak. He's good on the mic, but he's Japanese.
It's like watching subtitles versus dubs,
right?
When it comes to like anime or anything else, movies.
Do you want to listen to some stupid dubs?
No.
Or do you want to listen?
They're always corny.
They're corny. You want to hear you want to read the subtitles with the badass Japanese accent.
Absolutely.
Speaking in Japanese.
That's what, I guess, whoever's watching, this is what I'm really getting, because I feel like the product gets watered down when you're trying to force them to speak English when they're not good at it. Like, no, let them thrive as their character, who they really are.
Exactly.
I'll adapt. If they're interesting, I'll read the subtitles. I don't care.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Just make it interesting.
Absolutely. Make it interesting. Be creative with it. That's all I got to say about that. Mm-hmm. So, good match. We go to Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Exactly what I called. Drew McIntyre wins this one. This was 13 minutes and 55 seconds. They whipped out all the toys and all the gadgets, and all the trimmings that you ever needed.
Sorry, I want to say the X post, of their. That's the best. I like him. He's one of my favorites.
I actually enjoyed it a little bit more than I expected to, because Drew McIntyre is so entertaining. He's still got that factor, that it factor that's like, I'm the biggest dick, piece of shit.
Yes. Yes.
God, I wish. I mean, there's, we didn't even think about it now, because I got, you can never count this guy out of the main event picture.
He's that good. I think they just push him away from it because they can't keep him there all the time. The reality.
I almost want to see him go face, because if you've noticed, Jonathan, everybody's turning heel.
Yeah, they're going to need some faces. And
they're going to need some faces.
He might refuse. He seems like he's having the time of his life.
Yeah, who better than Drew McIntyre right now? I think he's ready for a face run.
Oh my God, Cena is a heel, and Drew McIntyre is going to become a face again. No, it's the world.
Yeah. Yeah. But this match, again, it was decent.
Damian Priest
better than expected.
He's not the main guy. He's more like Kane in a lot of ways. Yeah. He even kind of dresses like him in some ways too.
Yeah. I don't know what else to do with Damian Priest except to bring him back into the Judgment Day. I think he belongs back in the Judgment Day. I think Judgment Day needs like a resurgence, but I don't know what else to do. Finn Balor's got to be reeling.
He's got to go. Finn Balor's got to get out. Tonight they better start the cracks of Judgment Day, either disbanding or kicking Finn out, which is, I think, the better choice.
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe bring back Damian Priest, kick out Finn Balor, because they both still have the heat. But maybe it's time for the Dirty Dom Judgment Day.
Yeah, in a lot of ways.
The leader of the Judgment Day.
Judgment Day became,
at this point, it's like I said, sky's the limit.
Yeah, Judgment Day was becoming like this, it's imagery wise, it's looking more like this, kind of like a Latino,
it's like a dark Latino heat.
And it's kind of like the Southern California, Hispanic culture, I don't even know what the PC way of describing it.
It's okay, buddy.
The Mexican,
it's like a Dios los Muertos.
Yeah,
it's like a Death Rider. Just think Lucha Underground, but if you go back to again.
It's kind of like Mexican gang kind of vibe to
Mexican gang, Day of the Dead, kind of like.
Yeah. And so
Sugar Skulls.
You got two Latino members already. You got one of his girlfriend, who's kind of like,
we're like borderline. We're like walking the tightrope here, trying not to be offensive. And yet we're gonna come out being offensive as crap.
Yeah.
And people are gonna like, these two guys are such pieces of shit right now. And it's like, dude,
all
we're trying to do is give you a description of what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
We're just trying to make sense of it all, because it's totally ridiculous. But we enjoy it.
Whatever. Cancel me. Shane Gillis came back.
Exactly. I'm trying not to be offensive here. I'm calling it out. But
there's a point.
I get what you're saying, Jonathan.
Yeah. It like
totally has Latino cultural aspects within this gothic presentation.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. And then you have Damian Priest.
That PC enough for you?
And he's so much better as a heel than he's been as the pseudo face. And
right.
And then, so when, what's his name? Predator Head. I can't remember Finn Balor's boy. What's his name? He's injured right now. He was in the Judgment Day.
JD McDonough.
When he comes back,
he's
he's still with Finn. They're doing their Irish thing, they're not in Judgment Day, but they're still a tag team or a faction or whatever.
Damian Priest, baby, bring him back in. He belongs. He fits perfectly with this new form of Judgment Day. The only one that doesn't belong is Finn Balor.
Yeah, he doesn't belong. He was from the original version, which wasn't a Latino.
You even have Raquel Rodriguez who fits in this faction. Yeah. And then Liv Morgan is your textbook white girl in the Latino group.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it.
Absolutely. That's it. That's what it's gonna become.
It's gonna become the Dirty Dom faction.
The gothicness of it really is kind of left, and it's really more of the one button dress shirt with everything
open, flannel,
sunglasses, and
it's like a 90s.
The pull up
it's like a 90s
everything with the cargo shorts and
Latino gang.
Yeah, I mean that's what Raquel Rodriguez image is kind of reminding me of right now.
Tell you, man, they could all come out with khakis and flannel.
Dude,
before you know it, low tops.
It's like kind of like Latino gang members type thing is what Judgment is becoming a gang.
The 90s are back, baby. Anywho.
All right, we've wasted too much time on that.
I know we totally are going to get marked, flagged for that. Back to our Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah,
this was fantastic. Okay, 10 minutes and 30 seconds, and it felt to me like it was an epic journey. Okay, through a who's who list of wrestlers, all of them excellent, but only one, could come out on top.
Only one was dirty enough.
And only one could be dirty enough. That's Dirty Dom. Dirty Dom is on another level now.
I don't know who's the best heel in wrestling. Is it John Cena or Dirty Dom? Who's the best?
Honestly, I gotta go with Dirty Dom.
The best
Braun Breaker did
wrestler.
At one point throughout, not just one point, but at several points throughout this match, I thought Braun Breaker was going to totally retain because of how good he looked. Okay, and the crowd was into him. The guy's a beast.
Yeah.
There was one moment when I thought Finn was going to kind of steal the show, and then we were going to get something. Whereas Finn, if he was to win this, he would secure himself as the top guy in Judgment Day with that Intercontinental title. But that did not happen. It was Dom who snuck in. This is what I was calling for: is that Dom is going to steal this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
He did. Penta looked good. Again, everybody looked good, but
Breaker looks like undefeatable in a lot
Breaker
of ways.
Looks like he's ready for the world heavyweight championship department. He's so damn good.
Yeah.
But I think he's still a little green.
Yeah, he's gonna be in that Braun Strowman role for a while where he's not getting championship opportunities, but he's out there and making high profile matches probably with other big dudes. And
I want to see some serious high profile matches. In fact, I'll go so far as to say that if there is one guy who can retire Brock Lesnar, it's Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I could see that. But
there's one guy that Brock Lesnar could be like, you know what?
Brock might never come back.
He might not ever come back.
Stuff like that.
Which I get.
Yeah.
But if he does come back and they want him to be like, look, we want you to go ahead and pass the torch to somebody, pass it to Braun Breaker. Because nobody else even comes close in terms of physicality, intensity, and just genuine, for real, I can freaking murder you.
Yeah.
Ability.
Absolutely. And if that was even going to happen, it probably wouldn't be for a year or two from now. So maybe by then, I don't know, because things change every day now. So
of course,
people come back. The Fatal 4-Way. So what do we got here? We got Dominic's amazing. Judgment Day is probably not going to be Judgment Day anymore. There was another clue. I want to know, because I didn't notice it originally. I had to read about it, but the Finn Balor came out wearing the black and yellow, and Dom had more blue colors, not Judgment Day colors from either one of them.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
I did not.
Neither did I, but I saw it afterwards.
What's that?
Yeah, well, just read about it afterwards about the color change. So, starting to think like you, the clues.
Show me. So what were the colors they were representing?
Well, purple and black are Judgment Day colors,
right?
But
But Dom was rocking white,
blue, and the.
He was rocking blue.
Well, he had his skeleton things underneath, but over top he had a blue something or other on.
Right.
But instead of coming out with the purple colors on, so no one wore purple, is what I'm saying.
Right. Right. So their faction is basically being disseminated, disassembled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Judgment Day is going to be renamed to
Right.
to Gothic Latino Heat or whatever, whatever we're calling it now.
Judgment,
Yeah.
Is it Dios? No.
Yeah. So maybe we're going to get a change here soon. And we forgot Carlito, a pivotal member.
He played a pivotal role.
Yeah.
And again, as if I didn't even think about Carlito in predicting. I wanted Dom to win.
Mm-hmm.
But Carlito plays the factor. I mean, he's the X factor in all this. And he's damn good at it too. He still looks great.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing this guy had a real run over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I listened to some of his interviews about that, and he regrets, like he said he didn't take it serious then, and now he's mature, and it's too late, and he's gotten over it, but, he feels like he could have gone way, way farther if he had, put in better work and stuff like that.
I honestly feel like he did put in good work, and it's sad that he feels that way about himself. I feel like he did everything he could. It's just the gimmick was not that great.
Well, he said when the gimmick started kind of fading off, like he didn't put in the work at that point to try to
transition.
Yeah, to transition. Yeah. He kind of half-assed it and just basically walked himself out of the door. It seems like
it was a weird time for wrestling, man. It was one of the worst times of wrestling. I don't blame him because it was a time when nobody was competing with Vince, and Vince was losing his fucking mind.
Oh yeah.
Kelly was losing his mind, and nobody could compete with him. So it's like you had nowhere else to go but out the fucking building.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks because you could tell he was cool, no pun intended, and but most of all he had ability. But it's like if you can't evolve. If you're being cornered into a room, into a role, what the hell else are you going to do? The same thing applies to a guy like Damien Sandow.
Mm-hmm.
Just thought of it. I mean, Sandow was a perfect case. Yeah. It's a great gimmick with room for growth, and it should have evolved. And what the hell do you do with this guy? He ends up going to TNA, where he was pretty much just at a time when TNA, nobody gave a shit about TNA back then.
Yeah, it was.
It's just not good.
Yeah.
Not a good time.
Yeah.
For wrestlers. Those 2000s. Ugh. But he plays a pivotal role in Dirty Dom's future.
Well, I can give you here quick takes for each of these people in the Fatal 4-Way.
Sure.
I think, Braun Breaker, I think we discussed. He's going up to the 1B level, kind of outside of the title. He's not going to run for a title, but he's going to be featured now, and he's
right.
They're preparing him. I think
sure is.
I think Finn Balor that they're getting ready to. He's going in a new direction soon, and maybe even might be off of TV. He might come back as a face one day or something. I don't know what it is, but they're going to rework his character. Is what might. You
think they're going to rework Finn Balor?
To some extent, I think he's going to have some feuds with Dominic, and then,
sure,
I just don't see it. He was a former world champion, first Universal champion, and now he's just kind of a bitch. But so
I'm gonna tell you straight up, I don't. That being said, I hate to break it to him, but I could see him have a little feud with Dom, and then basically be traded off to SmackDown.
He's not traded. Yeah.
And that ends it. And he can do some things with SmackDown, or like you said, they just may not have anything else to do with this guy. Has his time run out in WWE? Because honestly, I know that AEW could do some work with him.
He could, but dude, my confidence meter with them is kind of waning for a while.
He could still do everything he needs to do. He's just not. Unless he's maybe getting to that point in his age where he's just kind of finishing up his career.
Yeah.
Because his best years have kind of gone past him, and he got injured. That's kind of the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
He could go back. Either way, though, he could have maybe a few good more matches in other promotions, or he could just finish it out in WWE, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe do one more stint in New Japan because that's kind of where he belongs, or where he started this whole thing. But yeah, he's getting to that point. It's sad, but it is what it is. is one of those guys that kind of like had the majority of his career was at a time when wrestling was just starting to get back to where it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Shinsuke Nakamura. Now Nakamura is basically just collecting paychecks. Like he's just like, look, as long as you pay me, I'll do whatever the fuck you want me to do.
Absolutely.
Same thing probably applies to Finn Balor.
Yeah.
He'll do whatever the hell you need him to do, and he's loyal. If you give me my money, I will do whatever the hell you need me to do.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go on the indies for sure.
He definitely doesn't want to go on the indies. Like, what the hell are you going to do there?
Yeah.
And Nakamura is basically like, I just want to stay in the United States. I don't want to work for New Japan anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he's doing.
I can see that, yeah.
Can't blame him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
maybe that helps me think. Maybe I've overestimated his point in his career at this point. Maybe he is kind of...
he is kind of on the back end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Dominic's. I mean, he's established now. This established.
Dominic's star is burning bright.
He's not a sidekick. He is his own character now.
He is. Sure. He has gotten to that next level, and there is nothing else. Nowhere else to go but up.
Penta, the jury's still
out.
Penta's
great. Penta. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe he's the one that takes the title off of Dominic from the Intercontinental.
Maybe
because. You know what I love is that, yes, Pentagon, again, he's another one that his career is on the back end.
Yeah.
10 years ago, he was in Lucha Underground. He was in his prime.
Yeah.
10 years ago. Then he shows up on AEW eventually. And it's like, okay, this is cool. But now he's in WWE and it's like, and the crowd is totally embracing him. Obviously, this is a crowd full of people that knows who the hell he is.
Yeah.
But you could tell people like him. Just even people that probably never seen him before, they just like his look, his gimmick, his ability. That's great. But yes, he's on the back end. So, like, you're not going to see a world title put on this guy, obviously.
Yeah.
You'll be lucky if you see an Intercontinental title or a U.S. title put on this guy.
So, yeah, definitely going with that. And the other factor, which is kind of overlooked because... the Lucha Bros are on WWE right now.
Exactly.
Like they are.
That's just blowing my mind.
They haven't put them together, but they're there, and like.
But they're gonna be. They got to be put together.
And why at this point, especially with the point you just made of Penta really being on the backside of his career, 10 years, since Lucha Underground. Why would you transition somebody at this point who's probably best known more recently as a badass tag team? Especially, remember that ridiculous Young Bucks match?
My God,
that was that was the height of their popularity in AEW.
Sure.
But that why would you not go there? Especially we were talking about the War Raiders, weak division, stuff like that.
The tag team division being shit right now, and basically the Lucha Brothers could save the damn thing.
So that's
tell you
got to go this way, right? Like that's his future. They're bringing the Lucha
future.
Bros back, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree with you, and we would love that. I'll tell you why it probably didn't happen from the very get go.
Yeah,
is because of the contracts.
Yeah,
it's got to be a contract. They brought in Penta. They didn't know if they could get Phoenix. They got Phoenix now. But Penta was already on a singles run.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, okay, well, let's ride this out real quick. They'll bring them together. They have to bring them together.
Yeah.
Because they probably want to be together, and that'll lighten the load for these two dudes who are on, again, the latter half of their careers.
Yeah, and they both got awesome entrance music.
Oh, yeah. Imagine them together having super awesome, excellent,
If they did that match, just some of those big highlight matches that they did in AEW and WWE, that would blow everyone's mind.
Yeah, excellent. So yeah, I mean, we pretty much got this all figured out for these guys.
Yeah,
except for Dirty Dom.
I mean, this guy's limited WrestleMania every year for
this guy is limited for this guy. This guy is so great. I said it once, I'll say it again.
He's gone now. From he's
being a child, just a little, a little twinkle in his father's eye, to a glycerine nut sweat on his father's sack, to being his own cock and being his own man.
To being a bigger cock than the previous.
Being his own rooster. This dude has evolved. And the more I watch him and the more people want to shit on him, the more I like him.
So two things, which was alluded to earlier in the show. Excuse me. One, which was John Cena did his Michael Cole interview, and I was watching the highlights today, some of the clips, and he says he's definitely embracing the heel role. He's talking about Dominic Mysterio and how good he is, and like how he's gonna be the biggest Mysterio. They're bigger than Ray and everything. And I was just like, I love this. This is great.
Did you say that was Michael Cole?
The Michael Cole interview. They basically like a post show type of thing.
Yeah.
And then on that same type of show, I think it was Biggie, Dom, maybe Bray. I don't know. It's a few of the personalities on those post shows type things, but still went outside in the parking lot with the fans, and so who was it? Was telling on me? They were like, "Your dad's a Hall of Famer," and Tom's like, "I could be one tomorrow." I've had a 20-year career at this point.
Right.
I was like dying that he's counting since that ladder match. For the custody ladder match is the start of his career now, and he's saying he's had a Hall of Fame 20-year career. I'm dying. Like, this guy he gets it. He's embracing the ridiculousness.
He gets it because yes, he is saying things like that, and he can say things like that. People forget. He's still, and he hasn't forgotten clearly, and clearly he understands. He's born in this business. Yeah. Whether or not you think he is or isn't, he is, and he's using it now.
Oh, I mean, he understands entertainment for sure. He understands.
And he may not be the most athletic, clearly.
Yeah.
He may not be the biggest. He's not. Clearly, he's not on the gas.
Yeah.
He's not juicing, okay?
But you don't need that to have a great career.
It doesn't mean he won't have a great career. It doesn't mean he won't get a little bit bigger as he gets older. You got to remember, this guy's like 20-something years old, 21 years old. By the time he gets to like 27, 28, he will fill out a little bit.
And
so you never know what's going to happen.
And being entertaining is arguably the most important skill of a wrestler over.
Oh, it's the number one skill
over what moves you can do, and
right.
It's whether or not you entertain.
As long as you can keep up with those guys.
Yes, absolutely.
Just keep up with them. As long as you can sell.
Yeah.
And as long as you're good on the mic and you have the right look.
Yeah.
You're gold.
Yeah, That's it. And it's not to downplay it. It's not that you don't have to be a good wrestler. I'm saying is that the way you connect
I know what you mean.
The audience is really through the emotion. It's through the entertainment. You got to get a reaction. And that
keep them invested.
Yeah.
Keep them watching you. Basically, it's the whole. Okay, when this guy comes on or this girl comes on, I actually am going to watch the TV.
Down.
Put my phone down and I'm watching this guy.
Yeah.
That's how you know. That's all you need to know is, oh shit, this guy's on. Okay, I'm going to watch this.
Yeah. Unlike the next match with, I put my phone.
Let's talk about it.
Don't care.
Let's talk about it.
We can just skip that one for all I care.
I mean, so the whole time I'm thinking, okay, let's make this. This could either go one of two ways. Either one, it's going to be some some awesome appearance who's going to actually put Orton in his place and surprise him and beat him.
Mm-hmm.
Just whoop him up. Not likely going to happen. Or a squash match.
Yeah.
What we got was a guy who people love and know, and it wasn't quite a squash match. It was a 3-minute. It went 3 minutes and 10 seconds. It wasn't just Orton just beating the crap out of him. That's it. But it was a little bit of that,
Yeah. And remember, they had him in the Royal Rumble, so he had.
Yeah.
I mean, he was pretty much eliminated immediately, so it wasn't like this guy had a good showing.
I kind of feel bad because is this the TNA champion now?
This is their guy,
which I think is just pretty sad.
Yeah.
This is the same belt that AJ Styles was essentially holding for a long time and like making it worthwhile. So
yeah,
just goes to show how far things have gone.
I almost would have just rather not had the match than to do.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah,
I wish Orton would have been okay with like waiting until next year, like.
Well, he wanted
being in a real
streak.
match.
He wanted like a streak of like. That was the whole thing. Him coming out and begging basically for a match and like,
I almost, you know what I really wanted?
What's that?
Because I was watching it and I was like, holy crap, are they going to go this route? It should have been Orton versus Nick Aldis.
Well, he provoked them and trying to get him to do it, but so
people were, and like the YouTube clips were insinuating that this was building up, and there was animosity between these two.
Oh, for
and
sure.
Nick
He got
Aldis
RKO'd recently.
and Nick Aldis can go.
Yeah. Like
I mean,
that would have been more exciting for sure.
And it could have been like almost like a street fight kind of, grudge match.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't think Aldis is, I mean, I understand if maybe he got injured or something, but not that long ago, he was NWA champion and he was having like epic matches with freaking Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Must be medical or something, but
must be.
But to what the people were talking about, they really were, just putting it out there just a little bit, making you think, man, this might be the new thing. Aldis going against Orton. Like they made you kind of think that it might actually happen, and then you start thinking about, oh wow, what if you get storylines with Aldis, screwing somebody over now or becoming a heel manager or general manager and all that kind of stuff. And then Hendry or whatever his name comes out, and it's like
Joe Hendry. Yeah, Joe Hendry comes back out, but they're singing. People are clearly they're marking out for this guy, and he is ridiculous. And he could do some moves here and there, but it was unnecessary for one.
Yeah,
this card was already stacked enough. I was happy that it was only 6 matches. It was just another way to kind of please Randy Orton, since he's like their freaking. What's it called? I'm trying to think of the right phrase.
In some ways,
I'm sorry?
It's like their Iron Man. I mean, he's got more injuries lately, but he's been solid for a long time.
He's their locker room
leader,
wise man. Like their locker room leader at this point.
The voice of reason.
He's like their mainstay guy. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's come down to. And it's like, okay,
he's like their culture.
I'd like to see you actually have a match with somebody if you're gonna do something. But anyways,
yeah.
Speaking of former TNA heavyweight champion AJ Styles versus Logan Paul in the 5th match. This match I thought was really good. Went 17 minutes and 50 seconds. Was not surprised that Logan Paul was given the nod. Styles did the right thing. Here's another one, Jonathan. That again, I'm saying Styles. You never know with this guy. He's another one that could feud with Cena. He's another one that could I would love to see, and I know I'm like wishing here, but it's like another one that I'd like to see against CM Punk for a title.
Yeah. Like
at WrestleMania. Like these two have never met in a WWE ring, and yet these are two of the guys. Like these are really the last like two of a generation, next to like Cena and Orton.
Yep.
Styles and Punk.
Yeah.
But Styles is still amazing. Doing everything he needs to do. And Paul, excellent in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
People are fucking stupid if they don't realize how good this guy is.
He's so good that he's pissing them off, and they're not even realizing how big a reaction he's getting out of them on purpose.
Right. I will say this. A lot of pandering to the crowd. A lot of pandering with the whole camera thing.
Yeah.
I was getting a little bit like, okay, you guys are overselling that.
Yeah.
But even Styles was doing it. Even Styles was doing it. Both were pandering. And it was like, I like the little spots with the ring apron. Again, they were kind of going tit for tat a little too much. But for the most part, this is a good match.
Yeah, it was a good match. The outcome, hokey, but I don't know. It just makes me wonder with the carrying cross, brass knuckles, all that stuff.
Yeah, that was.
What are they going to do? Has he even had a match? And I can't even remember the last carrying cross match I've seen.
You know what? He had a match with AJ Styles prior to this.
Yeah, but like
I don't know what the hell he's another one that's on the way out the door. Sorry.
They keep putting him in storylines as this weird influence, trying to get
weird,
them. But there's no
cringy character.
There's no real substance. There's no outcomes. There's no things that happen because of he's just there, and
he's just there as this dude. Kind of, what's sad is he reminds me of freaking Sean O'Hare.
Yeah,
like who is kind of like this deviant in the back, who has all the ability and all the physical prowess, and could be a master, like a monster guy, like heel when he wants to be, but he is being underplayed and underutilized and somewhere in limbo, and he's on his way out the door. Like, I'm sorry, but unless they do something quick, unless somebody really likes him and just wants to keep him around, he's going to be out the door.
Yeah.
It's sad because his gimmick in NXT was pretty cool, and the entrance and like what the hell they were trying to do was cool. And he would have been just a good heel, but I don't see this lasting much longer.
Yeah.
I do feel like it kind of played a stupid factor in the whole match. And that's great that they had a little interference, but it's like they probably didn't need that. But
yeah, I mean,
I don't even know who the hell that
on his own without carrying.
I'm sorry?
Jake Paul could have done this all on his own with his own guy, like
Logan Paul, yeah.
Thanks.
Jake Paul.
Like
that would have been cool if Jake Paul. That would have been cool if Jake Paul showed up to interfere. I would have liked that.
That would have been hysterical.
But they have this goon. I don't even know what his name is.
One of his boys, like his entourage guys. He interfered before too in matches. He slips the brass knuckles or whatever the hell the item.
He's like Shane McMahon's freaking Mean Street Posse.
Yeah, he's a Mean Street Posse kind of guy.
He's Mean Street Posse kind of guy.
Like in his real life entourage, you know.
Right, he's like his real life entourage.
So yeah.
Like, what's my name? My name doesn't matter. I'm with Logan Paul.
It's Turtle. His name is Turtle.
I'm sorry. What's his name?
Turtle. Just like on. Well, I'm calling him the guy from Entourage.
He's literally the guy from Entourage.
I mean, do you have anything else to say about this match? I mean, it was fine, but
no, did everything it needed to do. 17 minutes, 50 seconds. What's this quick? I will say next match, tag team championship match again. This one went 8 minutes, 40 seconds. Quick. I will say that Becky Lynch looked good physically. I'm not saying she did anything special, but she looked decent.
Yeah, she's skinny. She's like fragile almost looking.
Her arms looked a little bit like built up. I don't know.
Oh, did they? Okay. Good. Well, I mean, she's always been real skinny though, right? You know?
Yeah, she has.
Yeah.
So she looked good. I feel like she looked okay being back.
Looked back. Her presence was commanding. Like, obviously the pop was good. You know, she's back. Yeah.
And it was cool. I mean, once she came out, you knew where this was going, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it was quick enough and it happened. And you know what's funny is that this match was really the match before the main event. So it's the match that everybody gets up to go to use the bathroom.
It is. But then the surprise, you know?
Right. Gets everybody running back in. Oh, it's Becky Lynch. Interesting. Even got me. I was in the kitchen doing something and I ran. I was like, what the hell is that pop?
At that point.
It's like, why is there a big pop? And I went and I was like, oh, it's Becky Lynch. Like, I'm singing along. I'm like, whoa. Now, here's the thing. The order of this pay-per-view of this night had it looking like it was going to be Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre, second to last match. And I was like, okay, they must be doing that because this is match is no build, real build, and as far as I'm concerned. And that was going to be, you know.
Well, it was supposed to be Bayley originally, and she got storyline attacked the night before, night one of WrestleMania, and then So
what I'm saying is that I thought Damian Priest versus McIntyre was actually going to be the second to last match, meaning it was going to be the concession stand.
Gotcha.
But they switched it.
Yes.
Like Bleacher Report had promoted that was going to be the match. This match makes a lot more sense being the concession stand match.
Absolutely, because there was no
pacing was done right.
Yeah. For me, why it was going to be the concession stand match was going to be Lyra Valkyria.
Sure.
I have nothing against her wrestling. Her wrestling's great. I mean, her athletic ability is awesome. It's, again, just not relating. It just, I don't know. Every time she comes on, I'm just kind of like, all right, phone's coming back up. She has no charisma. Great athlete, but I don't know. They just keep throwing belts on her, and it's like the crowd just loves doing that woo, that woo sound.
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, to be honest.
She has those entrance music.
It sounds underwhelming. I've probably said underwhelming about 50 times tonight, and that just goes to show what the hell this is all about. Like, just things that need to be taken up another notch.
I don't know. She just keeps getting pushed, but she's just not engaging
she looks good.
Well with
she looks like she's a superstar.
She looks like a superstar, but she's just not that she doesn't have the edge or anything. And so now she has the Intercontinental Championship and the Tag Team Champions. So cool. I mean, of course they're not going to have the Tag Team Champions for that long, you know.
No.
Because Becky's got to get back to the singles title on.
Sure.
So I think the real outcome of this
we could see a feud build up Probably going to lead to like when they lose those titles, it's going to be a wedge between the two ladies, and then it's going to be Becky Lynch versus Lyra, and Becky Lynch is going to win an Intercontinental Championship.
Absolutely. Your intro
Meanwhile,
music
Liv
is only
Morgan
going to get you so far.
I love Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, that duo. But now they can just focus on Dirty Dom's,
just on him,
prominence to the top,
because he's the best.
That's really all that matters at this point.
All right, here we go.
And that leads us to our final main event of the night: John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. 21 minutes 40 seconds. Okay, it went as long as they needed to go. Like I said, this match could have been much more vicious. Could have been more of a brawl of a match. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about the whole time I'm watching this match. I was like, man, I wish Jonathan's request would have gone fulfilled, where Cody Rhodes definitively beats the hell out of John Cena at one point and just establishes himself, like beats the crap. And it would have made sense because John did not look good. John Cena did not look good in this match.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like,
even the announcers were
a lot. And like there were times when he looked good, like in terms of like he's not breaking. He's once again that guy that doesn't break a sweat, and he's really strong.
Yeah,
does look strong,
mm-hmm.
but his endurance is not there. It's just his movements now don't look right.
He almost wrestled differently in a lot of ways. Like he was more rigid and like more intentional about his movements and less free flowing. And I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Hiroshi Tanahashi, I'm telling you, go back. He is essentially their ace. I'm telling you, works like him now. Yeah. He built like him now, like just like a 50-year-old man trying to like work like he's 40 or 35.
I almost wonder if some of this is playing into the actual gimmick of him being a heel. That he's not as good as he used to be. He won't admit it. He's just here, and that he has to cheat to win is what kind of like the impression
he really does. He really does.
That Michael
and that's really what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would have been fine, and that makes sense, and I agree. That's the way it should be. He's Hollywood Cena.
Yeah.
Here's what I
think be weaker because he's the heel now,
and he's the heel. So yeah, he's definitely gonna be weaker. I wish so much that The Rock came out.
Yeah, I mean,
but even more so,
I
would have liked to have seen. Do you realize like how far they could have taken this? Because now John Cena is at a level. He's Hollywood Cena. There's only a handful of guys that have reached this level.
Yeah.
The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Dave Bautista. What if Hulk Hogan just like showed up out of nowhere and literally like it's instead of fucking Travis Scott of all people?
Mm-hmm.
What if The Rock showed up? Maybe before him, Hulk Hogan. You know how nuts people would have gone if Hulk Hogan just like appeared out of nowhere and Cody Rhodes would have been like confused, like what the fuck are you doing here?
And been a heel because people don't like him and he gets booed now. It would have been amazing.
And he's Hollywood,
exactly.
And then from another corner comes Dave Bautista. And everybody's like, why the fuck is this asshole here? And then out of nowhere, in comes The Rock. And all three of them are basically just like surrounding Cody Rhodes. And it's just then comes in John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe get one strike from each one of these assholes leading to that belt shot.
Yeah.
That would have, and then you have a faction that really doesn't even have like people wrestling other than John Cena.
Yeah.
But there's just so much power involved that it's like, you won't even see all these guys together all at once. But here they are. And now you understand like who's in charge of this industry.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's the Hollywood. It's Hollywood guys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, they would have been so pissed. It would have been epic.
Yeah. Well,
I would have liked to have seen at least something like that.
It would have been very entertaining for sure. And would have had.
It would have been a lot more entertaining than a Travis Scott coming out stroking his belt.
Okay.
Like he's
as we mentioned earlier, Travis Scott
and then walking down that aisle taking like 10 minutes just to do that shit.
Absolutely. And he was more threatening was Burt Kreischer though on the Friday SmackDown before choke slamming people.
Talking about the Machine?
Yeah. Well, I love Burt Kreischer, favorite comedian.
Right.
Seen him, but he was out there chokeslamming people. like, like anyone can do a move now. Travis Scott, Burt Kreischer.
I mean, Bad Bunny is more intimidating.
Yeah.
Than this guy. Bad Bunny can actually go in the ring. But he's not like a wrestler. He's a rap artist.
Exactly. There should always be some sort of kind of barrier, in my opinion, between like an athlete kind of person, wrestler, and like entertainer.
I mean,
and when it comes to professional wrestling,
Travis Scott is like, it's like old school, like going back to like the David Arquette days. Like he is not, who knows? Maybe behind closed doors, he's a recluse.
Yeah.
But you're comparing, you're putting him up against guys who are like well over 200 pounds.
You're putting it up against some of the top guy in the industry right now, and the former top guy.
And you're making him, like look like he's an intimidator.
Yeah.
It's not going to fly.
So going into this match, didn't do a prediction or anything, but my thoughts was that Cena definitely wins this, and there's a huge cheating or something to get it to him. Cody gets screwed over. Like that was like, to me, like,
sure.
I was like, this is what's going to happen.
That's textbook. That's like academic. That makes sense.
So Cena winning 17th title here by cheating and all that kind of stuff wasn't the issue. It was just how
it went down.
Yeah, the Travis Scott long walk out, like Cody should be recovered by this point. It just like it didn't. It actually should have hurt Cena more. And then I don't know. And then the other aspect of this match that really irked me was that basically they did the same thing that they used to piss me off with John Cena, where he would get a million finishers done on him, steel chair, this, that, still kick out. It was like Cody Rhodes did 3 AAs to him. One of them was the Avalanche. The second one was the Avalanche AA. Then he had the third. The third was after the turnbuckle, the exposed turnbuckle. All this other stuff. He still kicked
into another FU again. Or I had to adjust.
So third one. So a finisher and a steel object, and kicks right out. Like I'm just like, why do all this? Like this is, I hate it. I need to.
I hated it too. I mean, this is again so formulaic, and this is the thing that irked me the most is that of all the things that they could have done, they went with the same tried and true bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
They could have done another, and this is why I want. And you know what? Even I'm sorry, but the build was also formulaic. Like it was everything I didn't want to. Like Cena had some good promos.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was appreciating that, but like honestly, he's so. Like, I don't know, like down in the dumps. He's just not the heel that I kind of wanted to see. And I'm not saying this is not going to be entertaining. Yeah. And I honestly, there were glimpses of like, okay, that's what I want to see. That's the heel that I'm looking for here. There were glimpses.
I wanted the charisma.
But for the most part, he was so like, I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
That.
It's just the build, the emotion, the intensity didn't quite get to where you thought it was going to go.
Underplayed that I was like, okay, maybe they want Cody to win and beat this guy because he's just so not there.
They just went. John Cena's not walking away.
I'm not saying
like we. Right. That's why it's just like there's no way he walks away from this match not winning. Like just because the story is pigeonholed them into. John Cena has to win this because otherwise, what was the point of any of this? Because he looks terrible. He oh great, he became heel. He looks terrible, and now he's retired. Like great, he would have.
Well, no, here's the thing. So what I was getting at is like he looks terrible.
Yeah,
he gets beat.
Mm-hmm.
He lightens up a little bit, shows respect. Then just ends it on a face note against whoever the hell down the road. Because again, he's not done. This is going on for another year or another 6 months, whatever you want to say. But yeah, I mean, I get it. Like people wanted to see him win for one.
Yeah.
And people want to see where this is going to go. I get it. I thought it would have been done. It should have been done better. It should have been done a little bit better.
What would have made it better was that, a little more fluidness in the match, and like maybe John Cena didn't look quite as bad, And
yeah, he didn't look as bad as it's like I almost feel like he's selling himself to look bad.
I think he is.
Clearly.
I think he is.
Because there are moments when he does look good. It's like, wait a minute.
Pops right up.
He's
puts him up on the shoulders,
There's certain things he can do that you can tell he can do.
Yeah.
And people are literally like just shitting all over his ability. And it's like, dude, I don't think he's that bad. I think he's just overselling.
I think so. And then the other second aspect that was the kind of the crush point of like all this kind of like downtime for Travis Scott essentially, and then the fact that The Rock didn't come out, like the screw over seemed really minor. It didn't seem like
that was the killer.
He didn't really seem like this was being taken serious to screw him over like an old school Vince McMahon would have started a Dark Order just to screw somebody over. The Rock did not feel like he cared.
No, and that's kind of the way what we're left with is that a very, dare I say it again one more time, an underwhelming ending to a very good WrestleMania that just wasn't quite on par with the last two WrestleManias. But
and maybe that's part of it, And
that's kind of the end of it all. Yeah, that's definitely a part of it. So
good, enjoyable. But it's hard to top the last 2 years for sure.
Definitely hard to top the last two. And I'm at least one thing's for sure. We're looking forward to what happens tonight on Raw. What happens tonight? What happens? As WWE restarts its year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, on that note, Jonathan, it's been good, man.
All right,
we just hit that 2-hour mark.
I know it's a WrestleMania edition.
It's WrestleMania. Gone everything from crazy, crazy matches up and down, roller coaster of a night one, pretty epic night two with some bullshit, and a couple, offensive comments on the dark Latino heat. But of course,
well, do we even know?
It was only in good faith.
Put it in the comments below. Am I canceled?
Are we canceled?
Yeah. Or if one of us is canceled but the other one's not, this is what we need to know. I'm hoping.
All I need to say though is this: it was all for Dominic.
Oh yeah,
it's all for Dominic.
Yeah, it was a positive.
So I'm sorry.
For sure.
It's only for Dominic. Yeah. Right? On that note, guys, it's been great. Please hit that like or subscribe button. At Bad Guy Wrestling. At Channel Cortez 33. Until next time, Jonathan, you have a good night.
You too.
And we'll see y'all later.